Learn about health from within on the Phenomenal Health Show with Dr. James and Ryan Fenn.
Body hacks.
Body hacks.
Like old school
Like body moving?
No, like, okay. Every generation's thing, like there's this secret, like the shake your belly, the shock your abs, starve on grapefruit, the wine diet, magic pills, buy a machine.
Meth.
Whatever, take meth, like.
The Beyonce cayenne pepper diet.
But the body always wins the argument. Like,
It does.
you cannot bypass biology. You can't do it, right? And like one of the first guys, one of my favorite, Jack LaLanne. Do we know who Jack LaLanne is?
I remember Jack.
God,
Yeah.
Jack LaLanne lived
like-
to, how old was he when he passed?
He was in his
80-something.
90s.
Well, 42 years old. He did 1,000 push-ups in 23 minutes.
Wow.
At 45, he did 1,000 pull-ups and 1,000 push-ups in an hour and 22 minutes. Swam to Alcatraz Island from Fisherman's Wharf while handcuffed. At 70, handcuffed and shackled, he towed 70 boats carrying 70 people more than a mile.
Jeez.
Swimming. Just unbelievable.
What a feat of strength.
Yeah. But he was like one of the first guys to really promote weightlifting for women.
Mm-hmm.
And, many doctors then thought that weightlifting was dangerous. It would make you muscle bound. But he really, he fought that idea publicly. He promoted juicing and resistance band, home workouts, protein supplementation, low sugar diets, like way before any type of mainstream culture.
He's kind of ahead of his time, wasn't he?
Yeah. He
was very ahead of his
Very ahead of
time.
his time.
He opened the first gym ever.
Yeah,
The
he
first
had-
modern health club
Yeah, he opened America's first modern gyms in 1936
in Oakland.
Yep.
That's why he was doing all this stuff in the Bay.
Cable machines. He made popular or helped to even invent them. Leg extension machines, resistance bands, versions of the Smith machine. Like, he was an innovator, and he also got his chiropractic degree in San Francisco.
Neato.
He was a
Okay.
chiropractor. Does that not make a lot of sense?
It sure does.
That's like Huberman and CrossFit and Richard Simmons and TikTok fitness all in one guy. But some of his like famous lines were exercise is king and nutrition is queen.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Your health account and your bank account are the same thing. The more you put in, the more you can take out. I love that. So, he always said, dying is easy, living is hard. So anyway, it's pretty fun. Like,
Very true.
Before, influencers had ring lights, Jack LaLanne was out there swimming handcuffed through shark infested waters.
That's crazy.
Old things that didn't do well, like old health tips that did not do well. Like, most doctors smoke Camels.
Well, they call them you nubs.
The 40s and 50s cigarette ads literally used doctors, and smoking was marketed to be relaxing and throat soothing and good for digestion and stress relief, even healthy. And they encouraged pregnant women to smoke because smaller babies meant easier deliveries.
Wow.
But it led to miscarriage and premature birth and low birth weight. But medicine once was just what prescribed was the actual disease. We got the thalidomide disaster. So you've got biggest medical tragedies in history, like late 50s and 60s. Pregnant women were given thalidomide for nausea and sleep, and it like really caused birth defects. Like thousands of children worldwide were done. What about frontal lobotomies?
Yeah.
Doctors used to use an ice pick like tool to go through the eye socket of the brain, and they treated depression with that. What about hysterectomies to treat hysteria?
Wow.
You're crazy. They pull your uterus out.
That's nuts.
Okay. Toxels and appendixes used to be just removed. Kids would just commonly have them removed. It made you sick. Then margarine versus butter. Butter is deadly, but margarine is healthy. Like, that's just not true. Like, we know many margarines are loaded with trans fats, your seed oils, and all that other stuff. So we kind of phased that out. You ever seen there's the thing you put the margarine and butter on a plate and the ants go and let the ants get at it.
Oh, really?
They go eat the butter and they die, and they get stuck in the margarine and die.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Wow.
But then the fat-free everything, all the remember snack oil cookies?
Sure do.
Oh yeah. And fat-free candies, fat-free yogurt loaded with sugar.
Right.
But it's fat-free. Meanwhile, obesity and insulin-resistant metabolic disease just kept on going up. How about the food pyramid? They just flipped the food pyramid upside down.
Mm-hmm.
The bottom was always the cereal and the bread and the pastas and tiny little fats at the top. They argued it was just overly simplified and influenced by a captured industry.
And bread and stuff taste amazing. And broccoli doesn't.
Sure it does. But
broccoli is amazing.
But how could you say that? Broccoli is one of the greatest things. Broccoli. Have you ever had broccoli from a garden?
Oh yeah. No,
Like
it's great.
straight out, you can't get it in the house. My friends growing some and just, It's amazing. We've had it. It's the most beautiful thing to grow. It looks like a big daisy. Imagine a daisy with the little yellow part. The leaves are that big, but it's 4 foot around, 3 foot around, and the middle part's your stalks. But okay, they flipped the food pyramid upside, and this is why this matters. Because eating highly processed foods is the basis of your diet, you cannot develop a brain. All right. When you got these kids that are on Medicaid and people with food insecurities, that's what they eat. That's what the government provides for these kids. And it keeps poor people poor.
That's right.
You cannot develop a brain. Now they flipped it upside down. When it's meats and vegetables, nuts and seeds at the bottom, we're going to change a generation of people. It won't take long, and people are going to be more healthy, less depressed, more energy, less chronic disease. I mean, this is in a generation from now. That's radical. We're going to have a smarter, healthier society. All boats are going to rise.
And that movement has already started?
Already flipped it. They flipped it upside down.
Wow,
yep, the whole Maha movement and all that. Cocaine and heroin used to be used medicinally.
Right.
Heroin was originally marketed by Bayer as cough medicine and a non-addictive morphine alternative.
Non-addictive.
Kind of sounds like Oxycontin, doesn't it? Did they not learn?
How did they not know it would be so habit forming?
I mean, this is what it is. You see these families that are on it. You take the sleep medicine and all these old elixirs that, you know, all the old snake oil salesmen. Guess what? You throw a little cocaine and morphine in there and you're going to feel better. You know what I'm saying?
You'll also be coming back for more and more. Yeah, right.
So,
and lose weight.
They used to drink, people used to drink radioactive tonics thinking they boosted vitality.
Right.
Radathor. They used to have x-ray machines in shoe stores.
Really?
You go in and you put your feet in there, and there was a place for the shoe salesman to look and the mom to look, and you could see the kids' shoes and the feet in the shoes. And they're just sitting there, you know, just zapping them.
Just pumping that foot full of radiation.
No, just crazy before that was done.
Wow.
We just got brand new state-of-the-art radio panel for our digital x-ray machine too.
Oh, nice.
So sick. The time now is beep. It's just you can't even hear the beep sometimes. It's so fast.
And it takes a picture that fast.
What about tapeworm diet pills?
Never heard of that.
Tapeworm?
Yeah, people intentionally swallowed tapeworm cysts for weight loss.
Really?
Imagine that infomercial. Remember that? And we've all seen this for funny and like jokes in the Three Stooges and all that or whatever. But the vibrating belt for fat loss and just wiggle your butt. Brrr.
I'm doing my 30 minutes of vibrating, honey.
Yeah. How about Fenn?
Massive
90s weight loss drug.
They outlawed that, didn't
me.
they?
Yeah. Linked to heart valve problems and pulmonary hypertension. So
how did you like having your name associated with that?
I love it. Bad publicity. Any publicity is good. Okay. Mercury used to do mercury treatments.
Really?
For syphilis. Blackbeard, the pirate, had syphilis, and it made you crazy.
Right,
crazy. But guess where they put the syphilis? Where they put the mercury? Where they injected the mercury?
Oh,
yes, sir.
Oh.
Not good.
Wow.
So, but turns out mercury's poisoning is like not ideal. How
Al
about
Capone, same way. He went nuts with syphilis. Yeah.
How about asbestos?
Yeah.
That was just practically miraculous. It's fireproof, durable, insulating, but yeah, a little mesothelioma.
Mm-hmm.
You know, okay, some good stuff too. Women that had anxiety or depression were often prescribed isolation. Lock them in a room for sometimes months. Doctors would tell you in the 20s or 30s, hey, you're just really stressed out. Why don't you go to the beach for a month?
Mm-hmm.
Just take some time off. Get away from everything. That probably worked. Yeah, every era thinks they've got it figured out. You can't bypass biology. Eat right, exercise, get adjusted. Very, very simple things.
Yeah, we're on
make
the
you
shot
healthier.
now.
Well, there's that too. Yeah. And there's goods and bads about it. I'm a fan and not a fan. There's gives and takes just like everything else. As we go through, you know, our healthcare system, obviously we've got problems. Like we've spent more money than any other industrialized nation. We've got literally the worst health outcome. Mm-hmm. It's just, okay, first thing, medicine 1.0. You know, before medicine was really scientific, they're doing bloodletting and leeches and mercury and snake oil and just trial and error. Maybe this potion will help. Like you just didn't know. And doctors started to observe patterns, but they didn't really understand germs, physiology, or hormones, or inflammation, or nutrition, or genetics. So it's just kind of what you got. It was all over. You know, a barber might also pull out your teeth, you know, by the striped poles there too. So things were different back then, right? Basically, medicine 1.0 is basically you got demons, bad blood, or bad vibes, and here, bite this root, you know, and we're going to pull something out of you. Then we got our modern medicine became amazing in saving people after the disaster. There is no better place in the world to get hurt than this country. Okay. There's no better place in the world to have a heart attack than this country. When something goes catastrophically wrong, our emergency care is second to none. antibiotics, surgery, emergency medicine. Once again, ICUs, saving babies that are 2 and 3 and 4 pounds. It's amazing what we can do. But the trauma care, MRIs and CAT scans to look and see what's gone wrong in there and what we can do about it is absolutely amazing. But it's your heart attacks, your car wrecks, your broken bones, appendicitis, premature babies, acute emergencies, we got that junk down. But we don't have anything for chronic disease. We've gone from infectious diseases being, bad news to now we all die of heart disease, cancer, Alzheimer's, or diabetes. That's going to get you one of those 4 things. And you need to have some kind of plan, written or otherwise, to get over heart disease, cancer, Alzheimer's, or diabetes. Are you addressing that in your life? Obesity, diabetes, dementia, what happens to people's brains, awful, metabolic syndrome. And medicine 2.0, you go get your blood sugar tested every day. When does it show your blood sugar's off?
When it's high.
After.
That's what I meant.
Exactly. When it's finally off. Go get your blood work every day. When is it off? When you're sick. If it's late when it shows up. Your arteries are clogged, your spine's degenerated, your hormones are wrecked, your sleep is terrible, your joints are destroyed, and then you react. What do we do to try to get that back on track? But this is Peter Attia. Medicine 3.0 is you predict, prevent, and personalize. All right. So you're going to measure metabolic health. Okay. Measure your inflammation. It's a very simple test. It's called C-reactive protein. Very cheap test. Most doctors don't order it because there's not a drug for it, but it's general inflammation in your body. And if you have that high marker for C-reactive protein, you need to address your life. Posture, balance. We do that in our office. People come in all the time. How can my spine be phase 3 degenerated and almost fused? It didn't hurt last month.
Right. That's saying it's not hurting.
Because it's not hurting, don't fix it. And that's just the wrong way to look at it. Like you measure your muscle mass. I've started in a gym TLH. It's in my plaza. How lucky am I there? Mm-hmm. But I've always worked out for, agility and balance and things that are just real functional. CrossFit's really functional. They don't do biceps because they don't help you get off the toilet at 90. But now at 54 years old, I'm trying to get some muscle mass on because you got to have that muscle mass because eventually you're going to lose it. So it's kind of fun. Cardiovascular fitness, you can measure your sleep with these sleep cycle apps. You can measure your stress. You can measure recovery with things like a Whoop band. And then, of course, your genetics. And you can look at long-term risk markers and you intervene early. The focus goes to how long do you live to how long do you function? You want to have your health span, not just your lifespan.
Right. We were talking about that with Alzheimer's folks the other day. That living to 90 is one thing, but living to 90 is a whole different thing.
You just can't float along. You got to do some things to preserve your cognitive health. Okay. And that's including drinking coffee is really good for your cognitive health. I do some MCT oil, which is medium chain triglycerides to get your brain going and feed my brain, your fish oils, your black seed oil, all that stuff. Physical health, of course, working out, emotional health, connection, listening to this show. Nothing was more connecting than this show during the pandemic. We were so isolated, everybody's put away, but this was a familiar voice and it is. You turn on Greg Tish and wow, what's he talking about? What's going on? Your emotional health and taking time for yourself and recognizing little glimmers all day long. I love the glimmers as opposed to triggers. How many things can you recognize today that are good for you, that give you joy? A text you got from a friend, a billboard, a sunrise, a riff in a song, all those things, just actively taking a snapshot of that with your brain and remembering those beautiful things, a moment with a friend, all those things and just snapshotting movement. It can get kind of sciencey too. Go get a DEXA scan, get your VO2 max, test grip strength. Those are all things that measure your longevity into things to work on. I just got another continuous glucose monitor where you measure your glucose all day long, and it's an electronic device. But anyway, basically, don't get too fancy with it in the beginning. Get outside, eat right, exercise, love your friends, hug somebody you love, tell them you love them, get adjusted.
All that. And remember that your chiropractor loves you.
And there's nothing you can do about it.
Nothing. FENNCHIRO.com.